One of Destiny 2's biggest reoccurring problems is unfortunately the solo player's experience. Destiny 2 is definitely a team-focused game, which can require 3 to 6 players depending on the activity you're doing, and unfortunately solo players can find it very hard to get some of the meta guns in the game, and also complete the best activities in the game. So as the channel that tries to focus on helping all solo players thrive in Destiny 2, today's video is going to be 10 of the best weapons that a solo player can easily obtain this season right now in the Destiny 2 Revenant episode. These 10 guns are definitely some of the meta guns that are being used by all players in Destiny 2, and overall these guns have been great for many seasons, and many seasons to come. So I'm going to work through these 10 weapons and start up with the best and work my way down to the bottom of the list. So you should pretty much try and get these weapons in the order of this video. Starting the list off here with weapon number 1, we have the Lost Signal. Now I think it's pretty safe to say here that the Lost Signal is arguably one of, if not the best gun to be using in Destiny 2 right now. As of this seasonal episode right now, we have a seasonal artifact called Concussive Reload, which basically will weaken enemies every time you damage them with a grenade launcher. Now, no matter what activity you're doing, whether it be a simple strike or a Grandmaster Nightfall, applying debuffs to enemy is probably the most important thing you can do, and weaken being one of the best debuffs that you can do, meaning that enemy is going to take more damage from your weapons. Now, the Lost Signal is a new area denial frame grenade launcher that acts very similar to the Wither Horde. You can shoot this on the floor and it's going to add pools of damage that overall tick the boss down, applying a debuff for the entire time. Now, the gold roll that you can get crafted with this weapon is auto-loading holster and Vorpal weapon. This weapon is extremely easy to use. All you do is pull it out and shoot the boss, it's going to debuff them, and you put it away and the auto-loading holster is going to reload for you, and then added with that Vorpal weapon, it's going to do a little bit extra damage to the boss. So overall, this weapon doing some pretty good damage and also weakening the boss is amazing. However, probably its best feature is the ability to charge your Darkness Transcendence bar in a matter of seconds. Overall, this gun is amazing, and you should definitely head over to the Helm from last season, Season 23, and focus and get this weapon crafted as soon as you possibly can. Moving on to weapon number 2, yet another weapon from Season 23 being last season, we have the Aberant Action. Now this is the first solar rocket-assisted sidearm, and as many players know if you're a Destiny 2 fan, rocket sidearms are currently some of the best weapons in the entire game. Even though they did get a little bit of an ammo reserves nerf, these weapons are still incredibly strong. Now I do know we have the Indebted Kindness and also the Call, however the Aberrant Action is solar and it is also craftable and probably the most easily obtained out of the 3 of them. The overall gold roll for the Aberrant Action, in my opinion, would be Heal Clip and also Incandescent. With both of these perks being S tier, put them onto a gun, that weapon is now SS tier. Now, in saying that the Aberrant Action as for weapon number 2, this does include just rocket-assisted sidearms in general. If you like a strand one, you can go ahead and craft the Call. And of course, if you like Arc, you can get the Indebted Kindness gold roll from the Warlord's Ruined Dungeon. However, you are going to need a little bit of RNG luck to get the gold roll Indebted Kindness. Now, moving on to weapon number 3, I have chosen the Edge Transit as it is the most easily accessible heavy grenade launcher for solo players. This weapon can be farmed from the Onslaught activity, which is very, very easy to do as a solo player. You can now even focus them from Zavala, meaning you can get your increased chance for an Edge Transit to drop. Now overall, the gold roll for the Edge Transit would be Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch. Now we all know about the Edge Transit, it's been in the game now for a few months, and I'm pretty sure most players would have this gun, as heavy GLs are definitely the meta DPS rotation as of right now, so an Edge Transit is a very easy weapon to get as a solo player, to make sure you're using an S tier DPS weapon. However, if you are an experienced solo player, I'm going to recommend you go for the VS Chill Inhibitor from the brand new dungeon. Now this Grand Launcher is technically a little bit better than the Edge Transit, with the gold roll being Envious Arsenal and also Bait and Switch. However, with a little bit of drama going on now with perk distribution and perks dropping, I'm not really going to recommend going for the weapon with the perk weighing being a little bit off at the moment. I would pretty much just wait until Bungie comes out with a fix to make sure that you can farm this gold roll. Moving on here into weapon number 4, I'm going to recommend the Hammerhead, another easily obtainable Onslaught weapon. Now right now, one of the best machine guns in the game is obviously the Hammerhead, and it comes from the Onslaught activity too, making it very easy to farm. Now my gold roll personal preference is Envious Assassin and Onslaught. Envious Assassin is going to overflow that magazine from getting kills with your other weapons, and pairing this with Onslaught will increase your rate of fire. So having an increased magazine and then an increased rate of fire, these two perks work extremely well together. Moving on here into weapon number 5, I've recommended the Sunshot. Now, I'm pretty sure every player in the entire game definitely has the Sunshot now, but this is just a reminder that you should be using this gun as a solo player. Now, pretty much the best way to use primary weapons in the game is to use an exotic version, and this is purely because of ammo finder mods on your helmet. Whether you're using heavy ammo finder or special ammo finder, this will pretty much guarantee you a heavy or special ammo drop after a certain amount of kills. Now, these mods work better with exotic weapons, especially being primary weapons like the Sunshot. So not only does the Sunshot work extremely well with ammo finder mods, the Sunshot overall is just an amazing weapon and you should definitely be using it. It hits like a truck, it has good AoE splash damage, and it's just amazing to use. Jumping into weapon number 6, very similar to the Sunshot, I've chosen the Graviton Lance. Now, the Graviton Lance is very similar to the Sunshot. It works extremely well with ammo scouts. However, the Graviton Lance is a little bit of an alternative to the Sunshot. If you're doing harder activities and you want to stay at further range, the Graviton Lance is your perfect go-to weapon. And obviously, if you're using a Void build, you want to use the Graviton Lance over the Sunshot. Now, the Graviton Lance is an amazing exotic weapon. It hits like an absolute monster. Just a few seasons ago, it got something like a 70% damage boost, making it one of the best exotic rifles in the entire game. I'm sure everyone watching this video has used the Graviton Lance. This is just your friendly reminder that it is still one of the best weapons in the game, and you should definitely be using it. Now, moving on here into weapon number 7, this is one weapon that I myself am still chasing. For some reason, the RNG gold rolls do not want to be on my side, and that is an Ergosum with the Arc Conductor perk. Now, the Arc Conductor exotic perk is from the Risk Runner exotic SMG, and if you've ever used that weapon, basically the way it works is whenever you take arc damage, it puts an arc shield around you. Now, this arc shield will absorb damage and also make your Risk Runner do more damage. However, the way it works with the Ergosum is very similar. It puts an arc shield around you, allowing you to absorb damage, but this arc shield will also chain lightning to any enemies that are near you, pretty much one-shotting any red bars in the game. Now, I don't have any footage of this myself, so I'm going to put a little bit of dummy footage on the screen. This weapon is incredibly good, and as a solo player, you should definitely be using this Ergosum, and also grinding to try and get one, as I myself have still not got one. Moving on here into weapon number 8, this recommendation is pretty much just a weapon that has Attrition Orbs. Now, Attrition Orbs is slowly growing up to be an S tier perk in the game, depending on what weapon you have Attrition Orbs on. Pretty much the way Attrition Orbs works is dealing sustained damage on an enemy with that gun will eventually spawn in Orbs of Light. Now, Orbs of Light are very, very important in the game. You know, you can use mods that they give you health back, you know, they start health regeneration, you can use them for surges, or you can even use them for exotics like the Star Eater Scales. Now, the perfect scenario of the best gun that you can get with Attrition Orbs is the brand new VS Velocity Baton from the brand new dungeon. However, as a solo player, I'm not going to recommend this gun. I'm just letting you know that this is probably the best case scenario of the best gun to have Attrition Orbs on. This thing is an absolute orb printer. So if you are an experienced solo player, I definitely recommend you try and get this gun with Attrition Orbs. However, if you're a solo player and you aren't really doing much dungeons, one of the easiest guns that you can get with Attrition Orbs is either the Multi-Mac or the Subjunctive. Now, the Multi-Mac is obtainable through the Iron Banner as a random drop, or you can, you know, focus engrams into it when it does come back around. And having Attrition Orbs on the Multi-Mac is amazing. Now, the Subjunctive is a crafted weapon from a few seasons ago that can also roll with Attrition Orbs. If you've got the weapon crafted, you can go ahead and craft it. And it just works extremely well for all solo play. You know, just damage enemies and eventually it spawns Orbs of Power, which is amazing. Moving on to weapon number 9, I've recommended the Midnight Coup, which again is from Onslaught. Now, Onslaught drops some amazing weapons in the game, and these are all great weapons that a solo player should be using. Now, the Midnight Coup does drop from Onslaught, like I said, and the god roll, in my opinion, is Explosive Payload and One for All. Now, Explosive Payload is just going to give this weapon a flat 30% damage boost, and then One for All will give it a 35% damage boost on top of this after you hit 3 separate targets with, you know, 3 bullets. However, Explosive Payload counts as splash damage towards One for All. So if there are a group of enemies all stacked together, and your one explosive payload bullet deals splash damage to 3 enemies, this will automatically proc One for All, making this overall a great hard-hitting hand cannon primary rifle to use. And finally, to wrap this list up here at number 10, I've chosen yet another Onslaught weapon. We have the Luna's Howl, with Heal Clip and Incandescent. Now, the Luna's Howl is sort of a forgotten weapon that pretty much everyone was hyped about and using when Onslaught was brand new. However, people have sort of forgotten about this absolute god roll of a weapon and aren't really using it anymore. Now, the Luna's Howl with Heal Clip and Incandescent is an amazing hand cannon, being, a double S tier perk. These perks combined together are amazing. Getting kills and reloading gives you heal ×2, and then, killing enemies with Incandescent just explodes and deals massive damage. So pretty much, if you're a solo player, if you aren't farming Onslaught, you should definitely be doing Onslaught for some of the best weapons in the game. But anyway, Guardians, that will wrap the video up there. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, comment down below. And let me know what your favorite solo weapon is to use this season. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.